The Middle East, a cradle of civilizations, a crossroads of empires, and a region where the ambitions of global powers collide. For decades, theorists have whispered that its wars, revolutions, and alliances are not accidents of history, but moves on a grand geopolitical chessboard. Kings, presidents, and warlords act as pawns. Oil, religion, and weapons are the currency, and the world's most powerful nations, they are the players. Tonight, we ask, is the Middle East truly a game of thrones for superpowers? Or is this narrative itself a dangerous oversimplification? Let's unravel the truth. The modern Middle East was born not in ancient bazaars or holy cities, but in the backrooms of European palaces. In 1916, as World War I raged, Britain and France carved the Ottoman Empire into spheres of influence with the Sykes-Picot Agreement. Straight lines sliced through deserts and tribes, creating Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, artificial states designed to serve colonial interests. This chessboard mentality never truly faded. Fast forward a century, and the players have changed, but the game remains. Today, three global giants dominate the board: the United States, Russia, and China. Each has a strategy. The United States, after decades of costly wars, claims to prioritize diplomacy over force. Yet it maintains, as of October 2024, U.S. defense officials said there were some 40,000 service members in the Middle East, protect Saudi oil fields, and sells F-35s to Israel. Why? To counter Iran, secure energy flows, and uphold Israel's military edge, a triad of interest dating back to Nixon. Russia, meanwhile, returned to the Middle East with a vengeance. In 2015, Vladimir Putin rescued Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria, turning the tide of civil war with airstrikes and mercenaries. Now, Russia's Tartus naval base and airfields in Syria anchor its Mediterranean ambitions. For Putin, the Middle East is a stage to defy Western sanctions and project power. And then there's China. While avoiding military entanglements, Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative weaves a web of economic influence. From the UAE's Khalifa port to Pakistan's Gwadar, when China invests in infrastructure that secures oil routes and silences criticism of its Uyghur policies. No strings attached, they claim, but debt traps and data sharing agreements tell another story. But the Middle East is no passive pawn. Regional powers play their games, often deadlier. Take Iran and Saudi Arabia, locked in a sectarian Cold War. Iran funds Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthi rebels in Yemen, and Shia militias in Iraq, all to encircle Riyadh. Saudi Arabia retaliates with airstrikes, U.S.-bought missiles, and a blockade of Qatar for daring to host Turkish troops and talk to Tehran. This isn't just Sunni versus Shia, it's a clash of visions. Iran dreams of a resistance axis against the West. Saudi Arabia bets on Vision 2030, a tech-driven future beyond oil. Meanwhile, Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan is reviving Ottoman glory. Turkish drones strike Kurdish fighters in Syria, troops occupy northern Cyprus, and gas exploration ships confront Greece. Neo-Ottomanism isn't just rhetoric. It's a blueprint for controlling trade routes from the Mediterranean to the Black Sea. Nowhere is the chessboard analogy more chilling than Yemen. A Saudi-led coalition, backed by U.S. intelligence and British bombs, has waged an 8-year war against Houthi rebels. The Houthis, armed by Iran, fire missiles at Riyadh's skyscrapers. Meanwhile, 400,000 Yemenis starve, and cholera ravages refugee camps. For global arms dealers, this is a gold mine. $75 billion in weapons sold to the Gulf since 2015. For Yemenis, it's checkmate. Conspiracy theorists argue that chaos is by design. They point to the 2003 Iraq War, justified by fabricated weapons of mass destruction claims, as proof that the U.S. invades to control oil. Others whisper about the Wolfowitz Doctrine, an alleged Pentagon plan to fracture Arab states into weak, controllable regions. Then there's the Great Game 2.0. Russia and China supposedly stoke conflicts to distract the West from Ukraine and Taiwan. But historians push back. The Middle East isn't a chessboard, it's a kaleidoscope, says Dr. Fawaz Gurjas of the London School of Economics. Local actors exploit global rivalries as much as they're exploited. Take Assad. He begged Russia to save him, but now he's Putin's prisoner. They call it a proxy war, but we're not proxies. We're people. My brother died in a Russian bombing. My cousin was tortured by Assad. Don't reduce our pain to a geopolitical game. So, where does truth lie? Yes, foreign powers fuel conflicts for oil, arms sales, and influence. Declassified CIA files admit to toppling Iran's democracy in 1953 to protect British oil. Emails reveal ExxonMobil lobbying Trump to quit the Iran nuclear deal. But to claim every war is a puppet show erases Middle Eastern agency. The Arab Spring wasn't scripted in Washington or Moscow. ISIS emerged not from a CIA lab, but from the ruins of Iraq's sectarianism. Perhaps the real conspiracy is the myth of omnipotent global powers. Behind closed doors, even superpowers scramble. When Saudi Arabia cut oil production in 2023, Biden fumed, but did nothing. When Turkey bought Russian missiles, NATO blinked. The chessboard is real, but the players are as clumsy as they are cunning. In the end, the chessboard narrative comforts us. It suggests order, strategy, and control. But the Middle East defies simplicity. It's a region where a single spark, a Koran burning in Sweden, a drone strike in Baghdad, can ignite infernos no superpower can contain. The game is real, but so are the lives lost in playing it. And as the world's eyes glaze over with jargon, proxy wars, great powers, we must ask, who pays the price for treating a region as a game? The answer, written in rubble and graves, is clear. The only winners in the great game are those who sell the chessboards. Like this video, subscribe for deep dives into global mysteries. Stay tuned.